The key to having confidence is learning to love your inner child. We hide behind masks, behind our emotions, behind our true self. We've learned to do that since we were in childhood, and that's why it's so important to unlock, to get in touch, to tap into our inner child. We all have an inner child within us still, and he or she, your inner child, is the key to having more confidence in your life today. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Evangeline. I am so glad you're with me today. I talk on this channel all about inner child healing, spiritual awakening, self-development. I'd love to know how this video resonates with you. Make sure you subscribe. It will really help the channel grow. And sit back, take some notes, because I'm going to show you and teach you today an amazing aspect on how to not just have confidence, but also tap into your inner child today. Will you let your inner child come out to play? Will you allow your inner child to be seen? The three basic things that we need as children is to be seen, to be loved, and to be fully expressed. And even just that last one, when I say fully expressed, like I feel that in my soul, in my core, because my inner child was so depressed. Like, when I say that, I'm not meaning depression, I'm meaning suppressed. Her emotions could not be vocalized, and they were pushed down, they were numbed. And it hasn't been since I started doing this work on myself, and still as I teach it, more of my inner child will come forth. It's really this beautiful, messy journey that I'm on that I love teaching you guys, because it really, really has changed everything in my life. And it will change yours. If you're completely new to inner child work, learning that your inner child is still within you, I really just invite you to be patient with yourself, have tons of self-compassion, and just be gentle with your inner child. I want to read something for you guys. I want you to sit back, relax, you're in a safe space, minimize distractions. This is sacred for you and your inner child, and for deep healing resolution in your life. And I'm gonna just read something that I wrote, and I want you just to sit there, take it in, and it will help you as you move into more confidence today. My inner child is courageous. She is bold. She is brave. She is out in the woods as a little girl, in the forest, pretending that she is a princess on her way to save the world from destruction. She does not care what anyone thinks of her. She's dramatic, she is stubborn, she's expressive. And as years go on, she is also in a lot of pain. It can be dark and lonely at times. She is scared. She wants to be somewhere else. She wants to be someone else. There seem to be a lot of fingers pointing at her, telling her she's wrong, telling her to be quiet, laughing at her. And these voices are still lingering as she lives her life today. She feels vulnerable and doesn't know how to fight back, doesn't know how to stand up for herself, doesn't know how to say no. She learns that, and she learns to believe that in order to receive love, in order to feel worthy, she must do as these voices say. So she hides herself. That was just, a minute and a half of me describing some things that I felt in childhood that have impacted my life in adulthood. And maybe there's a part of you that feels pushed into a corner, wanting to be free, but maybe you don't know how. Or maybe there's just this part of yourself, right? You go on a date, you go into work, you're with people, and you feel alone, or you feel like you don't know yourself. I think that's the biggest one, is where we have so many adults walking around who don't know themselves because their inner child is still feeling shut down, numbed, hiding. And when we allow this part of ourselves to come forth, to be seen, even if it's just to ourselves, And that's actually the key, right? I people pleased. I wanted to show everyone that I was who they wanted me to be so I'd feel worthy. And this work is for me first. It's not for them anymore. And it completely changes your perspective on life. And so I just want to point that out to you, that this work is for you first. Go to your mirror. Go somewhere sacred for you. Somewhere quiet, someplace calm, somewhere where you can invite peace in. You can allow peace in and see yourself and meet these parts of yourselves. And definitely subscribe. You can always also book a free call for the Soul Talk method. This is my signature program. I teach people how to free this part of themselves and step into their awakening to their true self, to their true highest self and potential. And definitely, you know, if this doesn't feel like this can be sacred for yourself right now, just be right now. We're still moving through in this teaching today. This is very delicate, sacred work, and you just being here is an amazing step forward. So I want to talk about these voices. I mentioned in my little script here about my inner child, these voices that I heard as a child laughing at me, pointing fingers, right? I think we all can reflect back on a place when we were children. We felt embarrassed, we felt shame, we felt like we had to cover up, we had to sit down and be quiet instead of speaking up. I know we all have that in common, no matter what background we come from. And so these voices, it's so easy for them to become intrusive, for them to still give us anxiety and worry and fear in adulthood. And realizing that many of the voices you're hearing in your head are not even yours. They're the voices that were in your life when you were children, and we've internalized them, and they're still playing out. It might be a completely different scenario, but we get triggered, or our body remembers. That's the thing. Our body keeps the score. Our body remembers. Our inner child is in our body. It's not in our head, but the two are connected. So it can be very easy when I tell someone, okay, discover your inner voice, discover your inner child. But those voices, those intrusive thoughts, those the criticism, the negativity, they're still playing out. But the thing is, they might not even be ours. They might be teachers' voices, parents, caregivers, someone we looked up to, a bully, a babysitter, that one person at camp we never saw again, but they said something really destructive that has just lingered and it stayed with us. And it's like it's a tangled mess in our head, and we have to and untangle those voices, because your inner voice is there. Your true inner voice that knows that you are worthy, that knows you are loved beyond measure, you're fully protected, fully divine. We want to tap into that inner voice. So I think the biggest step for you is to realize that today. Pay attention, be mindful of the inner thoughts that you're having. Ask yourself these questions. Are these even my thoughts? That's what we have to come back to, coming home to ourselves. This is a way we tap into our inner child. Say you're out in a grocery store, or you're giving a presentation, and just somebody looks at you funny, or someone belittles you. And instead of going along with the joke, instead of just laughing or taking it, you know, reflect within yourself and go, okay, how am I feeling? What are the thoughts? Oh, Sarah, come on, you should have known better. You shouldn't have done that. Come on, Sarah, grow up. Like, whatever the thoughts are, we all have them. I want you to be introspecting. And how you can do that is, okay, this voice, what is it telling me? The what question is really, really big. So I want you to write that down if you're taking notes. What is this thought showing me? What is it telling me? And then the second, this is the big thing, is, do I want to believe this about myself? You get to ask that. This is your power. This is you tapping into your spiritual side, your divinity. And I want you to ask yourself, do I believe this? Right there is when you get to decide if you are going to shrink and be small and hide yourself, or if you are going to tap into your higher self, your future self, the part of you that knows you're so worthy. And in that, you allow your inner child to be just a little bit more free than it was before. You're gonna get really clear. That's your only assignment this week, is to just get really clear on these inner voices, these thoughts that are trying to tell you, go back in the corner, be quiet, sit down, hide yourself. The next part I want to ask you is just, how can you show up for yourself this week? How can you take a mask off this week? It might be that you're hanging out with a group of friends where you really do not have anything in common with them, like truly, but you are wanting to fit in. But when you shift this perspective, when you learn this, when you tap into your inner child this way, you know that you belong anywhere. So maybe you need to spend less time with these people. Or maybe you're getting lots of family pressure to do this one thing and you've got to do it, and there's nothing in your soul that's telling you, I want to do this. There's a part of you saying, I want nothing to do with this. Can you make that step in a different direction than what your family is pressuring you to do? Maybe there's just something that you want to do for yourself that no one else will see, that you do not need to prove yourself to anybody. Do that this week. You will feel a little bit lighter. You'll feel a little bit more connected to your creativity, your wonder, your imagination, your peace that resides in your inner child. Before we go today, I want to also just give you tangible steps to have more confidence, to tap into your inner child, to love your inner child. Right at the beginning, I said the way to have more confidence is to love your inner child. So I really want to point out that no matter how you're feeling, if you've got a lot of turmoil, a lot of painful emotions coming up, even as you're watching this, you can love and accept that version of yourself. She is whole. He is whole. You're completely loved and completely on time. And so that's what I want to just encourage you to do, is to have self-compassion. Accept yourself for where you are today. That's going to feed into confidence. That's going to help you take the mask off. Another huge step that I teach inside the Soul Talk method is mirror work. I don't know if you've heard about it. I know for myself and my story, the mirror work was super transformational for me and how I saw myself, how I was able to accept myself. And so that is why it's a big key element inside the Soul Talk method. Again, if you want to learn about that, you can always book a free call. It never hurts to ask questions. And just, you're capable of this. You're capable of healing from this, taking off the masks. You do not have to live a life where you're hiding yourself. I really, really want you to know that today. And I want you to take this step of what you learned from today. Just do that alone. I think it's so easy for us when we have these wounds from our childhood, is like we have to do 10 million things and we've got to do it overnight. So I want to just give you this advice for today. It's going to help you so much. Step out in confidence, step out in who you truly are. Let me know how this resonates with you. Leave a comment below. What was most helpful? What are you going to work on? What is the one thing that you are going to, pull the curtain back, take off the mask? What's that one thing that you're calling in for yourself that you're just like, time's up. I'm going to do this for my inner child, for myself today. And just one more final thing I want to mention before we go. I mentioned it in my video last week. I have an amazing workshop on September 12th. I'd love to invite you into this portal, into this container. It's going to be a sacred healing training, 90 minutes. You will also get access to me and the community for questions and coaching for a week after, replay access if you can't make it live, and just an amazing value which will help all of this. If you're resonating with this, if you're wanting to know more about inner child work, and maybe the Soul Talk method is too big of a price tag for you right now, or you just want that taste to see, do I really want this? Or if you're really serious and you're like, I want this deep inner work, this is for you. Another huge aspect of why we struggle with confidence, why we struggle with hiding ourselves in adulthood, is because both men and women were told and taught how to hide their emotions. And so much of us are living in emotional pain, and maybe we don't know it's that. Maybe it shows up in a chronic illness, chronic pain, shows up in just anxious thoughts, panic attacks seriously. It can show up in so many different forms, but the root of it is emotional pain. And so this workshop is all about addressing the good girl, good boy syndrome, because like I said at the beginning, so many of us, right, we learned, okay, we got to give our needs away in order to be loved. In order to receive acceptance, we have to hide ourselves. And so we're tapping into that in this workshop. The details are below. The link to register is below. I'd love to invite you inside. It's going to be an amazing experience. I'm already just like tapping into myself, of getting myself prepared to teach this. I love teaching this work and truly want this to be transformational experience for you. You're taking some huge value away. The energy exchange for this workshop is only $22. I chose 22 because I do believe that when you pay for something, you will walk away with more value. As well as the number 22 is all about when you step forward, when you step out, your reality or what you're wanting to create becomes your reality. So 22 is a huge, significant number, and this is going to be an amazing experience. So invite you inside. The details again are below. Message me if you have any questions. I am sending you all so much love. You are divinely protected, divinely loved. Accept yourself. I'm so excited for how you choose to not hide yourself in just one way this week. All right, I'm sending you so much love. I'll talk to you soon.